Trump's level of depravity was on full display Sunday at Charlie Kirk's memorial. But first, let's compare what happened to what was said.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
First of all, Fat Donnie fits almost every biblical no-no and a few of those Old Testament ones as well. Again, Trump has been accused of assaulting 21 women, was found liable by a jury for rape, and says horrible things about women.
You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the pussy.
You know, you could see there was blood coming out of her eyes. Blood coming out of her wherever.
And Man-Titties is also currently withholding files that seem to implicate him in the sexual assault of 2 girls under 15, one of whom committed suicide after her testimony.
In 2021, as part of Ghislaine Maxwell's trial, it was revealed that Donald Trump lied about riding on Epstein's plane. He actually flew on it 7 times.
I think the DOJ should immediately move to unseal all the Epstein documents.
And now that same Trump who's sending 9-year-olds with cancer, who also happen to be American citizens, to third world nations they're not even from, is standing in front of these Christians acting like the sociopath that he is. And look, you and I both know that from his racist, homophobic, and misogynistic statements who Charlie Kirk really was.
If we would have said that Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called the racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously.
But these people can't hear it now, and especially his widow. After someone dies so horrifically, it's hard to hear the truth, especially for religious people trying to do the math on how their God operates. It was hard not to be moved by what she said.
I forgive him.
And of course, the sentiment from the right wing and the hatred that filled the auditorium like the vapors from a sewage leak was really pronounced. Starting with Trump, the vibe was night and day from the widow's statement. It was politics 101, how to take advantage of hurt people. But no one said anything about gun control or the violent demagoguery that has infiltrated this party.
I just wanted to follow up quickly on something that the president had said yesterday. So we heard from Erika Kirk. She said she forgives the man who shot and killed her husband. And then right after that, we heard from the president who said, I hate my opponent and I don't want the best for them. How does that square with bringing down the temperature of political violence in this country? And then, if I could, I had a follow-up on Venezuela, too.
Look, the president is authentically himself. I think that's why millions of Americans across the country love him and support him, including Erika Kirk, who you saw so beautifully was on stage with the president in an unthinkable moment, in the midst of an unthinkable tragedy, and was leaning on the president for support during that time. And he was there to give it to her, as well as the vice president and many other top-ranking cabinet officials.
If you think Kimmel's comments were controversial, these fucks turned a moment of grief into an opportunity to amp up the very hate that got Kirk killed. Kind of like what Kimmel said.
Fight for Charlie Kirk. Who feels the Holy Spirit in the house tonight? Are you ready to fight back? And are you ready to put on the full armor of God and face the evil in high places and the spiritual warfare before us?
They cannot imagine what they have awakened. They cannot conceive of the army that they have arisen in all of us.
Charlie has heard the words echoing now in heaven. Well done, good and faithful servant.
Charlie brought the truth that young people deserved a stake in the future and that they deserve to have a voice.
My husband, Charlie, he wanted to save young men just like the one who took his life. That man, that young man, I forgive him.
It was an assault on our most sacred liberties and God-given rights. The gun was pointed at him, but the bullet was aimed at all of us. He did not hate his opponents. He wanted the best for them. That's where I disagreed with Charlie. I hate my opponent, and I don't want the best for them. I'm sorry. I am sorry, Erika.
And then pouty fuckwinkle behind bulletproof glass, because there's 300 million guns in the U.S., went on to talk about his big Tylenol autism announcement for today, which was embarrassing and made a speech all about himself, like sociopaths do.
Oh, that beautiful day, November 5th, 2024. Do you remember that day? It was 9 months ago. What a day that was. I mean, we had a pretty good day in the first one. And I must tell you, on the second one, we had a phenomenal day. But a lot of bad things happened. And now that's not even questioned. They cheated like dogs, but we got them back, didn't we?
But the most disgusting part of the speech was this. Watch Trump's actions. He's literally humping Erika Kirk, the widow. Trump is grabbing her like she's Stormy Daniels. What a sick fuck. This is a woman who just moments ago said she forgives the shooter, something that has to be incredibly hard, which of course will be ignored by everyone who claims to care about her.
As you know, the depraved assassin who planned and executed Charlie's killing has been arrested and charged with capital murder.
I forgive him.
God willing, he will receive the full and ultimate punishment for his horrific crime. It's a terrible thing.
Here's the problem with this whole event. While most of America recognizes that we have a problem, the right wing of the Republican Party has adopted the bullshit theocracy that offers no solutions except to attack those who no longer believe their fairy tales.
There are demonic forces.
If you don't like our religion, then we don't want you in our country.
This is basically what Charlie Kirk espoused, sprinkled with racism and misogyny.
I mean, Joe Biden is a bumbling, dementia-filled Alzheimer's corrupt tyrant who should honestly be put in prison and or given the death penalty for his crimes against America. And the Civil Rights Act, though, let's be clear, created a beast, and that beast has now turned into an anti-white weapon.
And the only person who offered up any New Testament hope was the person in the greatest pain, his wife. The rest of these fuckers stood on Charlie Kirk's grave and proselytized their politics and hate. But here's what needs to be said. If this were simply a gathering to mourn the death of a man who was murdered for reasons still unclear, where clergy spoke to a New Testament ideal of love, hope, and the search for understanding, I'd be down. But there's more to this. Kirk said reprehensible things about women, gays, and trans people, and minorities, to which I can speak to quite succinctly. I was a child in the 60s, and I heard racism said out loud. And being from D.C., I remember King's speech. But most importantly, I was white and privileged, and granted access to listen to these people while they spoke horrible words of Dr. King and the civil rights legislation that was important then and is still today. So to see the thousands of people gathered to praise Kirk and hear nary a word about the hateful things he said about others who were marginalized by either their sex, their sexual identity, or the color of their skin, well, I shouldn't be surprised. I attended Catholic schools for 12 years, and while I'm not a believer today, I carry the lessons from those beliefs. And I can tell you, as that privileged white man, the people in that room were not embracing them.
The senator just say, which is he was talking about a resolution that came before the House this past week honoring Charlie Kirk. And there were 58 Democrats who voted against it. You were one.
Yeah.
Why?
Absolutely. You know what? One of the things I do want to point out that's not been laid out that honestly hurts my heart is when I saw the no votes, there were only 2 Caucasians. For the most part, the only people that voted no were people of color because the rhetoric that Charlie Kirk continuously put out there was rhetoric that specifically targeted people of color. And so it is unfortunate that even our colleagues could not see how harmful his rhetoric was specifically to us. And I can tell you that a month prior to him passing away, he had actually gotten out on his podcast. I wasn't aware of this at the time, but he got out there and he was talking negatively about me directly. So if there was any way that I was going to honor somebody who decided that they were just going to negatively talk about me and proclaim that I was somehow involved in the great white replacement, yeah, I'm not honoring that kind of stuff, especially as a civil rights attorney and understanding how I got to Congress, knowing that there were people that died, people that were willing to die, that worked to make sure that voices like mine could exist in this place.
This president has unleashed a dangerous hate and bigotry that has, like a cancer, been growing in white America since the Civil War. Quick story. In the mid-1870s, black Americans celebrated their newfound freedom by running for office and voting for representatives with a patriotic enthusiasm. But when Rutherford B. Hayes ran for president in 1876, the election went to the House of Representatives because neither he or his opponent got the necessary electoral votes to win. So to secure those votes and the presidency, Rutherford promised the southern states if they voted for him in the election in the House, he would remove federal troops from polling stations and allow states to keep African Americans away. And it worked. So 150 years later, as sad as Kirk's death might be, Kirk was truly infected by a disease that is alive and growing in our country. And that disease has a face.
I could be a stupid person.
Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list.
It's sitting on my desk.
Do you have no shame?
Goddamn right. Are you not entertained?
Who are you talking to?
I could be a stupid person.
Trump admitted he knew Epstein for 15 years.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
I'm sorry, man.
You're a nasty person.
It's not fair.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
I don't want to talk about this stuff.
There's in a lot of trouble, Donna.
I think he's crazy.
I'm Chip Franklin.